Hey guys, in this video we're gonna look at the cPHulk brute force protection in cPanel WHM. And if you're not familiar with this or this course, I suggest you go to my playlist on my channel and find this free course here. And if you want, you can start from scratch here from the first welcome video here. And if you're not familiar with a few terms that I will be stating in this video, like for example the commands that I will use, I'd suggest you go back to the first video, so as I've explained a few about these commands. And that's it, I believe. So let's get started. So the first thing, of course, is we want to log into our WHM. And for this video, I assume you already know how to log in, or as mentioned earlier, I suggest you go back to the first video and so that you can follow along with me. So the first is I will create, this is my SSH client, and I will run the WHM login command so that my SSH, my server, will generate a login link for me to log into WHM. So if you're not familiar with that, as mentioned earlier, please go to my course here, and I believe I've mentioned this in this part 4, or probably this one, the install cPanel on CentOS. So when you're logged in, let's go to cPHulk. I'm not sure if that's the way how you pronounce it, but um, so here it is. So let's check how we can set it up right. So um, one thing I want to mention, I want to point out, is that if you're using a different server providers, like for example, for this demo, I am using AWS. And if you're using Contabo, I believe they already set it up for you by default based on their own security um, measures. So let's say, for example, if for the AWS or any other unmanaged providers, or the premium ones like Vul Vulture, DigitalOcean, AWS, Oracle, they when you install cPanel, you will have to go through how I did in my course. For example, you will run through the cPanel installation instructions, while some other what do you call this, some other providers, like for example Contabo, they have their own cPanel installer, which you can just click one click and then it will be installed for you without going through the manual process of doing that, which I've said, or I have shown you how you can do this here. So that's specifically for the um the one click install is specific to the providers that you're using. So let's say Vulture, DigitalOcean, or any other providers. if they have a one-click install, most of these types of installers um, has been modified by each providers to my knowledge. So let's say for example Contabo, because I've checked the settings comparing the cPanel manual installation in the Contabo and many other providers. I've checked it. They they do have they did modified based on their own measurement of security. So for this is the default for our own installation. For my demo installation, this is based on AWS Marketplace. Okay, so since this is only a demo, and for the Contabo, you can I I would recommend you if you're not familiar with any settings that um that you want to modify. I suggest you just leave it as default because most of them as in my experience, the Contabo settings is already okay compared to any other ones or compared to the default cPanel. So for Contabo, they've already set it up right for you. Unless you want to, of course, secure it much more, which is why I am doing this video video series. So okay, again, so going back to the to this cPHulk brute force protection settings. So this is already enabled. This is by default enabled. Um, we are going to go through this, but I just want to let you know that I am not using this in my main servers or any of my servers. I'm not using this module or feature in cPanel because the reason being is I am using the firewall. Let me show you this one instead. Sorry. Mm, I'm using this one, this module, the CSF or Config Server Security, which is a third-party plugin for cPanel firewall. So this already manage um, the limit login attempts or whatever the cPHulk brute force protection built into cPanel is doing for our server. So it will just conflict if you enable this while you are using the config server firewall module or plugin. So this is already managing this protection, which is why I just disabled this. But if you're not using if you don't want to use the CSF, then we can this is the point of this video. I'm gonna walk you through how you can how let's go and understand what are the use of this feature in cPanel WM. So of course, let's start with the first section here, which is the brute force protection period in minutes and the maximum failures by account. So this will be, let's say if there's someone that is attempting to log in with a wrong password, then every 5 minutes they will be blocked for 5 minutes. Each time they have logged in with a wrong password for 15 attempts. So it will be applied protection to local address only. Okay. Apply protection to local and remote address. Allow username protection to lock the root user. Okay, so So this is the default for cPanel. I mean by cPanel. So if I were you, or if I were the owner of the server, I would probably make this 3 failures. Okay, and then IP-based protection, brute force. I will also use this as 3. User input. Excuse me. Base protection. Okay. So this is based on the username. So if a cPanel user is logging in with a wrong password every, I mean, of 3 attempts, they will be blocked for 5 minutes. Okay. All right. So for this is IP based. So this is an IP based protection. So let's say, for example, cPanel will block the username. This is this is for the username. So let's say, for example, if you have a username like, for example, Mawix within the server, um, and someone wants to log in via cPanel, and I'm not sure if this is only for cPanel. Maybe it also includes the WHM if you're a reseller. So if they have an attempt with the wrong password up to 3, they will be blocked. The username will not be able to log in, even they log in with the correct password, if it is within the the 5 minutes duration after they were blocked. So for that username, they will not be able to log in. So what we want to do, instead of 3, by the way, I will just put it 6 instead. And then for the IP, this will be the 3-1. And 15 minutes, this is all okay. So for the IP based protection, it just means that let's say you're logging into your account. I'm not sure if this includes the WHM. I believe it does. So for example, if you're logging in with your account, let's just say it's cPanel. So I'm logging in with a username Mawix, and then um I'm using my room. I'm a I mean my PC and my room with an IP of 1.1.1.1 whatsoever. It's all one. So they will block this by IP. So for that PC in my room, I will not be able to log in for 15 minutes. I mean within 15 minutes after my failed password attempt, login password attempt from the IP of my room PC um, unit. So, but if I want to but if I use another IP or another unit with a different IP, I will be able to log in. So that's the point of this IP address based protection. So I'll just use the three attempts. Probably this as well. I'll probably just use 3 as well for this. But since this is a username base, it will be annoying if someone just wants to annoy you. That's probably why they have increased the attempt count, the failure counts. But we'll just use 6 since it's only 5 minutes, so that should be fine. So 1 day blocks, block IP address at the firewall level. By the way, guys, about this lock root, allow username to lock the root. Okay, so by the way, guys, I've not discussed about this. Apply protection to local address only. Apply protection to local and remote address. For this, it should be fine. Just disregard this. For this, by the way, allow username protection to lock the root user. So this, we don't want to check this out because it will block the root user. Let's say, for example, as mentioned earlier, I'm confused if this login does apply to WHM, which is now I realize it does because it's showing root and you don't have any root user with um I mean you don't have cPanel for the root, so it just means that it also applies with the WHM accounts and reseller. So this is if you want to disable this, because if you do enable this and someone wants to annoy you and just do a maximum failure attempts, you will not be able to log into your server for 5 minutes. And let's say that person just wants really to annoy you, it will be a problem if you cannot log in to your server because of this. So that's why you don't want to enable this one. So for here, command to run when an IP address triggers brute force protection. So for this one, you can also expand this. The following variables may be used in these commands. The command must complete within 15 seconds to avoid a timeout. So there is cPanel has provided. There's a feature for this section, the IP address based protection. There's a there's a feature that you can run a command against the IP that has attempted to log in to your to any of your account in the server. So there you should you I suggest you just read this and apply this if you know how to create a script, or maybe build a command for how you want to react to this IP-based protection login attempt. So the following variables may be used in commands. So expire time, max allowed failures, current reason, remote IP. So there is something like I'm not too sure what do you call this, but probably I suggest you just read this out. And if you want me to create a sample command for this section here, leave the comment below. And also, if you're enjoying this video, I really appreciate a like, to hit the like right now. And um, let's just continue. So block IP address at the firewall level if they trigger brute force protection. So we don't want to also enable this because it will block the network. Firewall level will trigger brute protection IP address. Not sure if this is. So I believe this is a permanent firewall. This is probably a permanent block for this IP. So it's up to you if you want to do that. IP based. I would probably, if you're using if you're providing a shared hosting service, I would probably do this. I would probably enable that one. And for this, let's move to the 1 day blocks. So this is a 24-hour block period. Let's see if that's right. Maximum failures per IP address before the IP address is blocked for 1 day. Okay. Um, yeah, correct. So this is a 24-hour block. So instead of 15 minutes duration or any duration versus the earlier sections, this will be a 1 day block. So let's say if someone has attempted 30 30 times failure attempts, login attempts, um, they will be blocked for a day. And also you have this, this is for IP base as well. So this is the same with here. Um, yeah, I believe that they are just the same here. If you convert this into 24 hours, let's say for example 24 times 60 minutes, so 1440, it will be convert it just it's equal to 24 hours. I'm not sure if there is what's the unique feature of this IP-based protection and the 1 day blocks, maximum failure per IP address. Oh, okay. IP address is just the same though. Before the IP is locked for 1 day, command to run when IP triggers 1 day block. Maybe I believe they are just the same if you make this a 24-hour duration. So probably they just do this so that you don't have to convert the minutes to a day. So this is just a preset of a 24-hour block. It's just the same here, I believe. So that's it. If they trigger 1 day block, okay. So for the 1 day block, they have enabled this. So the same thing, we have enabled this. So the login history duration for retaining failed login. So this is something like a log for us. Login history. Okay, so duration for retaining failed. So we will be able to see um the IP address, I believe duration. Yes. The IP address or a log for whoever has logged in with who who are those who have attempted to log in with failure um credentials with failed credentials. So duration, so every 360 minutes. So let's say what how many hours is this? So 6 hours. So within 6 hours we can see the login history, and there is a notification for us. So send a notification upon successful root login when the IP address is not on whitelist. I would enable this one. Send a notification upon successful login root login when an IP address is not on whitelist but from a known net block. That's you don't have to enable this because we already enabled this, so it should be the same. Send a notification when the system detects a brute force user. You don't want to enable this except you have a certain person that I mean that what do you call this, that moderates or ha that works with the brute force protection within your company. So if you're only one company or a small company, you don't have to do this. Just disable this. For me, I'll just disable this. So just hit save, and let's proceed to the next tab, which is the whitelist. So when you go to the whitelist tab, cPanel will automatically what do you call this? Recommend you to add your IP to the whitelist, which is cool, right? So this is me. So you want to comment it out, the owner. And here you also want to this is the whitelist management here. So if you're using Cloudflare, what else? Um, WordPress, if you're using Jetpack, um, what else? WordFence, whatever it is, whatever services that you um, that that you're using remotely to protect your your website, you wanna fill all their whitelist IPs um, here in for your if you don't want them to have a conflict to your server. Let's say Zoic, if you have if you're using Zoic. Apart from that, um, if you don't know what are their IPs, just ask support, and they should be able to provide you how you can um, the whitelist records or the IPs that you should be whitelisting into your server. So just ask them how you can do that. I mean, how you can get that one. What are their IPs to be whitelisted into your server? And for the blacklist, of course, you don't have to actually add if you specifically know what IPs or services you want to block, you can add it here. Countries, if you want to block specific countries, you can do this here, but I don't really use this. And here are the reports. So this is the reports that is stated here. So you can see login history. So this is where you can find the reports, I believe. So for all the features, so it's as you can see, it's here 300 minutes. So if you want to have a report for a longer period of time, just increase this one. But for me, I'll just leave it as is, 6 hours. So yeah, that's it for the CP book brute force protection. And once again, if you want me to create a sample command to run here, sample one, that will benefit your using of the brute force protection module in cPanel, the cPHulk brute force protection. I'm sorry. Just let me know in the comments, and if you like this video, please like, and if you like more of these videos, please subscribe. And thank you for watching, and take care. Hello, Q&A session. So in the previous weeks, we have a few commenters and questions I want to address. So this is for, let me check here. So for Rehan Tech, shout out to you, man, and shout out. So he was he was just saying that good information, love you, bro, full support. Okay, thank you, Rehan Tech. And let's see this. I can't stop doing this crypto. Oh, this is, I believe, a scam. I'll probably just do this. Hide user always. Probably just hide this. Let's not report him because he might not be. Let's just hide this as well. This is also promosim. I'm not sure what this is, but we'll probably just also shout out to you, Perry Ondorf. Sorry for the pronunciation. Promosim. I'm not sure what he means, but that's it. So for Dennis Tonye, how do I get a free domain name? How do I get free domain name, which is not related to this, but I did answered you, Dennis. You can register a free account at freenom.com, and you can use the free domains that they do offer, but I don't suggest you use them for any serious business because that domain is not yours. Based on their legal terms, the domains are still their ownership unless you buy them. And yeah, that's it. So what else? I created 2 cPanels on my WHM. I can only open the first cPanel, but I can't access the second one. How do I go about that? I've answered this. I'm not sure what you mean. Yes. So I used the IP to open the first cPanel, but I can't use the same IP to open the second cPanel. So he is saying that he wants to log in for his 2C panel to his 2C panel using his IP. So what you want to do to make this work, Dennis, is, let's say for example, if your IP is 1.1.1.1 and you can log in through here if you already have created a cPanel user, not WHM, okay? It's a cPanel user. So this is the URL. This is your IP. Changes with your IP, and this is the port to log into the cPanel. Don't use this because this is for the WHM, which is your root user or your reseller cPanel account. So you can only use this port 2087 if you have a reseller account or a root user account. But for the cPanel, you must use this port, okay? And just use the regular user and IP. I mean user and password. So yeah, that's it. What else? So I believe that's it for this video. And again, thank you for watching. Take care.